Raymond R. Torrey Gymnasium on the campus of Washington Community High School. Clutch Sports Media is on the air for Mid-Illini Conference Showdown in a regional title game. Tonight, the East Peoria Raiders travel up Washington Street, still take on the Metamora Redbirds. Good evening, everybody. It's a three-man booth tonight here on CSM alongside John Camosa to my left, Jonathan Michael to my right. We've got a three-man booth. We've got a great game in front of us. John, let's start with you. It's going to be an excellent matchup. Not going to be an empty seat in the house. Nothing more to say.
No, it's going to be a packed gym. These two teams have met already this season. Metamora with the upper hand twice, but throw the records out the door, throw the rankings out the door. This game is going to be exciting. You can hear this crowd. It's going to be electric.
It's going to be electric indeed. As Metamora takes the floor, you get a good look at their student section. Jonathan Michael, let's bring you in the Chris Collinsworth slide of sorts into the broadcast. Jonathan, there's great players on both sides here, electric players, and it just really contributes to the atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you got Ethan Kaiser on Metamora's side, the South Alabama commit. A lot of people around the area already know that, but then you got other guys that just are made for the playoffs. Guys like Drew Tucker, Tyson Swanson, guys that know what it takes. Obviously, Metamora bringing back so many returners and some new breakout stars this year as well. Guys like Luke Hopp and Tyler Mason have been huge for the Redbirds this year. And you look over at East Peoria's side, obviously, they're led by another D1 commit, Justin Page, going to Cal Poly. But you cannot forget about guys like Jack Dubois and Sol Chow. Both of those are players that are ready for the playoffs, and they're going to come in, waiting for a big upset.
Indeed, and John Camoso, we were on the call for both meetings between these teams in the regular season. Metamora getting the upper hand both times. Look there on your screen. Metamora won both games by 10 points. A little bit closer than what the score is going to indicate. It came down to some free throws. Very competitive, though, and I wouldn't expect anything less tonight.
No, I think when you look at both these teams, Metamora might come into this game with the advantage being the number one team. Obviously, a game that East Peoria wants to come up here and pull the upset. But, Gavin, going back to your point, those two games we were on the call for, those stats between Metamora and East Peoria were almost identical. I mean, both these teams are competitive. Single-digit games going into the fourth quarter where Metamora pulled away late with free throws. But I think for East Peoria tonight, it's really going to come down to limiting turnovers and rebounding. That's where Metamora has the advantage. But all in all, should be an exciting ball game.
Indeed, and Jonathan Michael kind of talked with Coach Gerznich and Coach Greaves before the game. Both had glowing things to say about each other. They're both tough teams, got to play a really, really good ball game, but maybe a key for each side.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think for East Peoria is, you obviously don't want to get down in a hole early. And, second of all, I think, you really just, everyone's got to play big. For Metamora, obviously they have, the skyscrapers and Kaiser and Hopp, but even their guards like Tyson Swanson and Drew Tucker, they're big, strong guards. And, you heard Danny Green is in the press room after their loss to SHG in the state title game and said, we got to hit the weight room and get stronger. Well, they did. So East Peoria's going to have to play really strong. For Metamora, obviously, just want to control the tempo and use their height to their advantage. Could think of many, many more, but go on for days almost.
You could, but see the crowd standing up. There's a look at the EP student section. Rocking the Hawaiian theme tonight. Sounds nice right about now, John. The warmer weather would be nice, but it's playoff basketball weather, and we love that here on Clutch Sports Media. Going to have the national anthem coming up here in just a moment, and then we'll get the starting lineups to you. We're going to take a quick ad break. You're watching regional final basketball on CSM. We'll be right back.
There's a lot of talk about big. Big corners, big dealers, big inventory, and big lots. At Bob Grimm Chevrolet Morton, we believe the biggest point is being missed: the buyer.
We never got any surprises. When they told us a price, that's what it was. That's why I kept coming back. We just always enjoyed the way they treated us. They truly do it the Bob Grimm way, which is they treat the customer like they want to be treated.
Visit GrimmChevy.com and drive away your new vehicle your way. That's the Bob Grimm way.
Find your next used car at every Uftring Auto Group dealer with a diverse selection for everyone. Many with low miles and remaining factory warranties. You'll feel good about your Uftring used car because if we wouldn't sell it to our family, we wouldn't sell it to you. UftringAutoGroup.com.
a choir rendition of the Star Spangled Banner done by the Washington Community High School Choir. But it's time for basketball. Raymond Torrey Gymnasium has played host to many great matchups this year, from TOC to regular season to postseason action. It's all happened here in Washington in the final basketball game here at Raymond Torrey Gymnasium for the season. Surely to be a good one.
Definitely, and Gavin, this is where the season started for both of these teams back at the Kevin Brown Memorial Tournament of Champions. Metamora, you look at their record down there on your screen at 28-2. Their only 2 losses of the season came in the TOC. They've won 26 in a row. Big wins against SHG back on Martin Luther King Day. They beat everybody in the Mid-Illini, ran the table, went 14-0. Also won the Gulfport Holiday Classic down in Mississippi, and also beat another out-of-state opponent down in South County, Virginia. So lots of good teams that Metamora has beat, and they've only lost 3 games since January 14th, 2022. That's 405 days. So what a year it's been for them, and obviously they don't want to lose another one here, because that means that the road to state ends here.
Indeed, it's going to be a great one. We've got starting lineups. The Redbirds in white, red letters and numbers, black trim. Got some of the striping and things on the shorts and on the sides. Have the Redbird logo on the side of the shorts. This is how they'll line up. It's going to be junior Tyler Mason wearing number 10. He'll join fellow junior number 14, Luke Hopp. The senior trio, number 21 and South Alabama commit, Ethan Kaiser. Number 22, seniors Tyson Swanson. And rounding it out, number 24 is Drew Tucker. The Raiders line up like this, wearing maroon and gold. Gold numbers and letters, gold stripes on the sides. And it looks like the coaches are sporting the same thing as well. They'll start with 6'5" senior and Cal Poly commit Justin Page. Joining him is the only junior in the starting lineup, AJ Reinders, wearing number 10. And we go to number 23, Cam Mabels, a 5'11" senior, wearing 23. Number 11, 6'3" senior Jack DuBois. And rounding things out, number 30, 6'3" senior Saul Chown. Danny Greaves, the coach for Metamora. John Gersnich, the coach for East Peoria. John Cabosa, some final thoughts before we hit tip-off.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. The atmosphere's electric. I think both teams are going to have to feed off this energy. Whoever gets the tempo and momentum early, we'll see what happens.
Here we go. It's time for basketball in Washington. Tipped up and won by the Raiders. DuBois moves it back out, and the Raiders will start with the basketball. Already an electric crowd. Reinders thought about a 3, drives inside, blocked by Kaiser.
And we just said, Metamora use their size to their advantage, and not only just on offense, on defense as well.
Kaiser can do that. Can jump high, fly high, Air Jordan, some call it.
He's been known for those defensive plays. Another big block for Kaiser.
Here comes Swanson, wide open, 3 in the corner, Hop off the iron. Almost got his own board, but tips it out of bounds. So both teams come up empty on their first possessions.
And good job from East Peoria right there, able to deflect it from Hop. That's where Metamora is so good on the second chance points. So right back in the hands of East Peoria.
Here comes Justin Page, 0-0 our score, 1 minute in. Saul Chown drives down the lane, tries to step through, tough over Hop. It's going to be tipped out of bounds, back to Metamora. And that size has been in effect early, Jonathan.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, you got Hop at 6'7", Kaiser at about the same height as well. East Peoria, again, not a huge team. They got guys like Justin Page and Saul Chown that are kind of built in the body of a bigger guard, but they can play big. Not quite as big, though, as Metamora, though. Don't count the Raiders short on heart, though, that's for sure.
Indeed. DuBois blocked away again, another block. At least the second of the game. Luke Hopp just feasting.
You think they're feeding off this energy. Look how many great defensive plays to start.
Page can't get the first one to go. It was an off-balance shot. Looks like he slipped a little bit. Mason up and one!
And that's one way to start for Metamora on the board early. The junior, Tyler Mason, he's been so efficient this year. Puts Redbirds on the board first.
Mason trying to complete the old-fashioned, he does. And there's how we start the ball game with points. 3-0 Redbirds. Reinders, tough task with Kaiser on him. Step through, Page, in and out, rim unkind. Here come the Redbirds.
That's two tough rolls there for Page. Again, two really good looks. Can't ask for much better.
And it's going to stick with Metamora. Looks like the right call to me, John.
Yeah, looked like he did get that right off his hands. Going to stay with Metamora. And I think feeding off that student section crowd noise, Ethan Kaiser wanted a big one to go there.
There's another bucket. 5-0 Redbirds, and Swanson gets Metamora back on the board.
Swanson was a big factor in the first half for Metamora in their last game against Streeter, that regional semifinal win, 77-46. He had 13 of his 15 in the first half, so Swanson will be big.
Reinders still having a tough game. Can't get East Peoria on the board. Tucker up, in, 7-0 Redbirds. Timeout, East Peoria.
And it's all about that early start. And Metamora on the board again, 7-0. East Peoria still without a basket.
And let's get a quick break during the timeout for our great sponsors of tonight's game. First starting with Jake Weston in Washington. Not too far from Washington High School, Jake Weston. You can go find him for all your insurance needs or give him a call, 309-444-4441, jakewestoninsurance.com. Also by Domino's, 20 area locations. You can use code 1126 at checkout, online, or in store for all your pizza needs. Check out Domino's. Everybody wins when you choose Domino's. Back in Torrey, 7-0 start for the Redbirds. They're off really fast out of the gates. Raiders, not much momentum on offense. So Coach Gerznich takes a timeout to reset things.
I think, Gavin, just getting that first bucket, I think will really open up the floodgates. They've gotten good looks just like that.
Page has had a couple of ones inside, just a little off balance, didn't get him to go, gets his first bucket of the game.
And Metamora is going to make you play. They're going to play that hard-nosed defense right there. Great effort from Page. Going up amongst the trees, two tall defenders.
Swanson tried to drive in, now to Hop. Down the lane. Stolen, and Jack DuBois comes out with it. Here comes Mabels. Reinders, corner three, off the mark. And off of Saul Chown. He didn't like the call. See him kind of jumping up and down. Didn't really have a great angle, John, but it looked like it may have been off Luca.
Yeah, it could have been, and plays like that are big for East Peoria. You maybe catch Metamora off guard, try to get a turnover. I think that's going to be crucial in a game like this, is East Peoria's ability to try to force turnovers.
Buddy Jackson into the game for the Raiders. He'll guard Tucker. Gives it off to Swanson. Page and Kaiser. Here comes Kaiser. Cut off. No reset. Patient possession. No need to hurry.
Here the East Peoria student section chanting boring. Well, I think it's boring, but East Peoria is just being methodical right now, waiting for the good shot. Taking advantage of obviously not having that shot clock.
And the air ball cleaned up by Swanson, and rebounds or something you talked about, John. That's didn't go in East Peoria's favor.
Yeah, not only that, those second chance efforts, Tyson Swanson lives around under the basket there. Another big shot for the senior.
Mabels can't come up with it. And out of bounds, Hop had his foot on the baseline, so Raiders catch a break. Could that be the turning point they needed?
I think this possession is very big for Metamora, just to get that confidence in here, get some more points on the board.
East Peoria's got to be a little flustered here early on. The long ball game. Page drives down, up. Block and one for Justin Page.
almost a little bit of a delay on the call. Thought he was going to call the charge. It ends up being the blocking foul and one. That's the type of spark you need if you're East Peoria.
Indeed, and you can be the official at home, but the officials on the court give him the and one. He'll try to complete the three-point play. Is good. 9-5. Raiders, little pressure, not much. Tyler Mason, the junior. Swanson tried to drive in. Now here's Hop. Kaiser, three-pointer, got it!
And it was one thing that East Peoria can't do. It's let Ethan Kaiser get hot, because we've seen him in a couple games this year. I mean, he is not afraid to shoot the three. He took 9 of them against Streeter. Ended up sinking 3 of them. So Ethan Kaiser, we saw it in that playoff run last year. His three-pointers were huge in almost every single game of that run.
Kaiser.
And not to mention, John, to your point, his 10 threes against Chicago Bogan when they played a home game just a month ago. So he has been on to this year.
East Peoria trying to figure out something. Dubois takes a long three, no good. Tipped over to Kaiser. 12-5 the score. Kaiser gets about top of the key. Page ain't gonna let him have any room. Mason gets the screen. Down low, Hop misses the shot. Danny Greaves wanted a foul. Here's Mabels, will shoot a three, got it to go.
The thing about East Peoria, so many different players in the starting rotation that could just let it fly from 3. Mabel's one of them.
Jackson guarding Tucker. Minute and a half to go. 12-8. Kaiser getting no room. Face guarded by Justin Page. Swanson thought about stepping into a 2. Mason will shoot for 3. Raining threes in Washington.
Someone want to set off the fire alarm or the sprinklers potentially. I mean, 3 balls coming in left and right, and it's a little deflating for East Peoria. Trading that big one there from Mabels, but that's sandwiched in between 2 triples for Metamora. So anything the Redbirds, or anything the Raiders have done, the Redbirds have said, anything you can do, we can do better.
Chown can't get the second effort to go. Page missed the long 3, and not funny, John. No jokes about the sprinklers and the fire alarm. Had that too many times. No good on the 3.
I do apologize. I wasn't here in Torrey Gymnasium. That's right. Both times that they've happened here for CSM, I haven't been here. At TOC, I was sick back at the hotel room, and the other day I was over at Peoria High. So
indeed, the fire alarms are, I don't know, say faulty. I guess they work, but they go off at the wrong times. Here in Washington, Mason up the lane and one.
Tyler Mason, he's been so good this season for Metamora. Really helped sparks this offensive firepower they have, and right there, extending this lead for the Redbirds.
Can make it a 10-point game with the free throw. East Peoria will have 35 seconds to see what they elect to do. Mason's free throw is up and good, 10-point game. Biggest lead of the evening for Metamora.
And, Mason, talking about him, just his emergence this year. I mean, everybody thought that, the breakout star for Metamora going in this year would be Matthew Zobrist. He's certainly going to be big for the Redbirds in the future, just a sophomore. But Mason really is just broken out. And I think I saw that he leads in Metamora in almost every statistical category, aside from rebounds.
Through the hands of Greco, can't handle it, so 5 seconds for Metamora. They can make it a plus 10-point lead.
Another crucial turnover there. Metamora looking for the last shot.
Zobrist up the floor, up and can't get it coast to coast. That's where we'll leave the first quarter. Metamora on top by 10. 18-8 our score. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Hi, this is Ben Whitaker, and this is Ben Whitaker's Used Cars.
Hey, everybody knows I know deals. You want Sam Lehman deals? You want my deals. And I'm not budging.
Ain't nobody doing deals like I do. I'm gonna bust this Sam Lehman Mort. Just show me the numbers.
What? Ain't nobody beating that deal. That's how we do deals. No one else will.
Find your perfect used car at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. All-wheel drive SUVs, hard-working trucks, economy, muscle, luxury, and more. You'll feel good when you buy an Uftring used car, because if we wouldn't sell it to our family, we wouldn't sell it to you. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Welcome back to Torrey Gymnasium on the campus of Washington Community High School. Let's get a quick break for our sponsors. Jake Weston in Washington. Give them a call, 309-444-4441 or at JakeWestonInsurance.com. Also by Domino's. Everybody wins at Domino's. Try their new loaded tots or classic favorites like pizza and wings. Choose Domino's. Maybe you're feeling hungry. Second quarter, still enough time. Plenty of locations to choose from. Go get yourself some pizza. Maybe some insurance on Monday. Back here, second quarter. Raiders moving to a zone. Similar looking groups out here. Not many players have come off the bench for either side. Over Mason, wide open off the iron. Chown picks it up. Over to DuBois. Gets it to go, so a quick start right there. Not even 30 seconds in, Raiders get two.
I think the thing for East Peoria that's going to be really big switching over to that zone is you got to really help out on the perimeter right there. They did a good job. Metamora trying to break that.
Also did a good job boxing out there by Sol Chown and the finish by Jack DuBois again. Really soft hands there. Was able to lay it right in off the glass.
Foul on Reinders, a hand check, so he'll pick up his first foul of the game. Of course, you don't want to get into foul trouble, John, but little things like that where trying to move past you a little bit, maybe picking up a foul, honestly, isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you know, it happens, part of the game, and you just got to try to limit that. But right here, East Peoria, I think that basket definitely helps cutting into this deficit.
Rebound taken by Mason. Kaiser thought about a three. He'll go up, short off the rim, bounces around. Kaiser almost comes out with it. Here comes Page. Page tries to drive in, back to DuBois, and they'll reset. Buddy Jackson over to Page. They're going to face guard him way out on the volleyball line. Jackson thought about a three, steps out with it. Here's Chown, up and can't get it to go. Tough shot. Tucker, Mason again for three. Can't get it. Couple open looks, just hasn't been able to hit.
I think this is East Peoria's chance to try to capitalize when Metamora's not making shots. You almost got to go basket for basket.
Travel by Page. Buddy Jackson hit the three, but does not count. Travel.
That's a huge swing there. Obviously, you know, if Metamora can go down and get a basket, I mean, we haven't seen him miss 3 possessions in a row, I think, at all tonight. So if they go down and get a bucket, you know, here, that could be as much as a 6-point swing.
But DuBois steals it. Here he comes up. No call. Little contact, nothing called. Missed the layup. Here comes Kaiser. Goes up. That's an easy two. Babels didn't want to foul.
And I think shots like that with DuBois was thinking contact. Zobrist doesn't go up, which leads to a basket on the other end. Big mismatch down there for Kaiser as he soars to the rim for the layup.
Page has it on the logo. Chown in their last meeting hit some big shots, including a dunk. Goes up again, got it for 2.
It's a nice, tough bucket there from Sol Chown. He's going to be really big for East Peoria, again, a real hustle player and plays bigger than his listed size. So, I think, a big key is going to be Chown's effectiveness on the glass tonight.
No disrespect to Ethan Kaiser, but Chown has thrown down a couple of the most impressive dunks I've seen this season, as has Kaiser. Throwing down some windmills and things. Tucker for 3, no good. Both players can dunk the ball very well. Page steps into a three, in and out.
Great effort from Chown there.
Buddy Jackson recovers, back to Mabels. Chown, long two, tough shot.
And I like the aggressiveness from East Peoria early, crashing the boards, matching Metamora's size and strength. The Redbirds looking to try to extend it.
Tucker out to Zobrist, the super sophomore.
For East Peoria, I think, obviously that 7-0 run that they give it to Metamora to start the game, but, since then it's pretty much almost been an even ball game. So, East Peoria, we talked to head coach John Gerson, said they're not coming in with a lot of expectations. It's going to play loose and everything. I think, so far they are because, aside from those first couple minutes, they're right there with the Redbirds.
Yeah, they trail by 8 right now, but John Camosa, again, just about getting some timely buckets.
And if you remember the last two meetings, Gavin, almost in a similar spot where they kind of inched their way back in the game, slow and methodical. This is the East Peoria team we've seen a lot more physical in tonight's game, trying to match that intensity.
Metamora's defense been very good. Chown for 3, off the iron. And foul on Jackson. Reached around a little bit. Not much foul trouble here early. 1 foul on Metamora, 4 on East Peoria.
And I think a couple of those fouls, too, were just after the fact, trying to get a quick steal after the player turns around. So clean game overall besides the 5 fouls here.
Not much to show for. Under 4 minutes, 8-point ball game. Swanson directs traffic. East Peoria back to the zone. Zobrist open for 3. Can't hit it. Mason tracks it down. Swanson wide open. It's the rebounds. The second chance effort gets Metamora the bucket.
And how confident is Tyson Swanson going up on the D1 commit? Justin Page is putting it right in.
Page tries to drive on Mason. Steps through. Nothing going. Mason back out to Tucker. Nothing called. A charge is called, though. Took a second. Danny Greaves is hot.
Great effort there from Mabels. Able to plant his feet, take the charge. Gavin, we know that when Tyson Swanson gets underneath the basket, he's so efficient, so that was big for East Peoria to force that turnover there. Can they respond?
They'll have a chance to. 2.5 to go. Here's Page, drives in. Mabel's thought about 3, steps in for a short 2, can't get it to go. Dubois can't get the second chance effort. Here comes Kaiser. Picked up by Chown. Swanson drives in, got it. 12-point lead, biggest of the game.
Metamora feeling it early on here in the first half. East Peoria, if they want to stay in this game, got to get some baskets to go. They've had looks, just a little bit of nerves, you would say.
It's kind of been the 2 steps forward, 1 step back or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, I should say, pardon me, for East Peoria. Again, keep on making shots like that don't take them out of the game, but it's got to start locking in on defense. I think it's got to be the key. I think it's going to be the emphasis for head coach John Gerzenich in the halftime break.
You got to be able to kind of make your move at some point. You kind of played even with them since the first couple minutes when Metamora got off to a 7-0 start. But got to try to make your move. Mason, tough finish.
Another great take there from Mason.
I was going to say another bucket at the rim there for Metamora. Again, we don't have official stats in front of us, but sure they are winning the paint battle right now big time.
Page has it. Short 2, got it to go just inside the free throw line. Justin Page up to 7. And Tucker is fouled.
Hard foul there, Tucker. And Gabby, you think Metamora plays for the last shot here or just tries to go out quick?
Yeah, good question. I think they're going to be plenty patient. I think it would result in the last shot. They're not going to pass an open opportunity up Blocked by Chown. They looked like they were going to try to go right for it.
Talk about team defense there. I don't even know. It likely was Chown. Looked like him, and that looked like there were 2 or 3 Raiders that were all up in the air ready to block that shot.
All trying to go for the block party tonight. Kaiser to inbound. 44 seconds in the first half. And Raiders go to a zone. And Metamora is going to hold it. Not in a hurry.
They might just be patient here, play for the last shot. Wait till they get an open look.
10 points, a nice comfortable lead, but not out of it if you're East Peoria, so you need a stop here. A little momentum into halftime. Metamora could take a big boost into half number 2 with a bucket. 15 seconds. We're going to get some movement here soon. Here we go. Tucker's going to make his move. Mason shoots it. Got it!
And Tyler Mason, that's a lot of momentum for Metamora going into halftime.
Metamora 28, East Peoria 16. Jonathan Michael, fast start for the Redbirds is really what aided him, but kept pace, and they got a 12-point advantage.
Yeah, definitely, and they've just been making shots. That's really been just their mantra so far, and they're shooting a high percentage from the field, getting lots of good twos, not trying to chuck up any crazy threes or anything like that. They're driving in, they're working the ball around well, so you can tell that this is an offense that knows their personnel, they know each other, and they know the situation as well. Again, very familiar with the playoffs, and got to feel good about playing basketball in late February if you're the Metamora Redbirds. But East Peoria, again, not out of it. They're a scrappy bunch. They can hang right in there.
Sure can, and John Camosa mentioned, Jonathan Michael mentioned some things about what Metamora is doing right. But for East Peoria, there's some simple things to work on, but in a big game like this, what do you say? What's the message? What's the overall message to the team?
I think the way East Peoria is playing, they're extremely physical in this game, so there's no lacking right there. Finishing those shots underneath the basket, though. There's a couple quick up and down second chance efforts. Ball goes a little bit too hard off the basket. Just kind of misfires. Things that could be nerves in a big regional championship. Got to remember, East Peoria hasn't been in this position in quite some time. So once you shake those nerves off, you've seen how Metamora plays. You get out here, you try to bounce back in the second half. If you're Metamora, though, they're really hitting their stride. East Peoria's got to try to step up that defense and try to pressure them more and not give them easy looks.
Indeed. Great first half. We'll see what the second half has in store. But for now, we're going to give you a break for our great advertisers of tonight's game. Great supporters of ClutchSportsOut.com and high school athletics. First, starting with Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, auto, home, or life, give Jake a call at the number on your screen or visit JakeWestonInsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, Jake from State Farm is there. And by Domino's. Everybody wins when you choose Domino's. Plenty to choose from. Pizza, desserts, wings. Try their new loaded tots, perhaps. 20 area locations and 4 located right in Peoria. Plenty of options and locations. Choose Domino's when you need your next pizza fix. That's where we're going to leave the first half. We'll have some more breakdown and analysis coming at you. A couple of stats and fun facts right before we get the second half started. For now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back for IHSA Regional Basketball here on ClutchSportsIL.com.
When you're ready to buy a used car or truck, we'll make it happen at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. With our best selection of budget and bargain cars in over a year and prices and payments you can afford. Special financing is available, and you can drive home today. UftringAutoGroup.com.
The Jansen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
Involved in an automobile crash? Take out your cell phone. Touch pound 4 law and you reach the Jansen Law Center. You have the power and experience of the Jansen Law Center behind your claim.
J. Jansen. One name says it all.
Start your day with a delicious handcrafted breakfast at Excellent Cafe. From appetizing avocado toast to a perfect pancake, Bloody Marys, and mimosas, our staff is here every morning to send you to work with a smile.
When you have storm damage, Google our dad at All Seasons Roofing.
I'm Chad Seaman, owner of All Seasons Roofing. Storm damage? We're on the job 24/7 and we work with all the major insurance companies. Call All Seasons Roofing today.
Start your day with a delicious handcrafted breakfast at Excellent Cafe. From appetizing avocado toast to a perfect pancake, Bloody Marys, and mimosas, our staff is here every morning to send you to work with a smile.
Welcome back to Raymond R. Torrey Gymnasium in Washington. Regional final basketball on CSM. It's been an exciting one so far as the Redbirds lead by 12, got off to a fast start. They hold a 12-point lead out of the halftime break. Warm-ups, couple minutes left on the clock. John Camosa to my left, Jonathan Michael to my right. But fellas, let's look at the history of both of these teams in recent years. Start with the Redbirds, and winning ways is something that they've really established. John Camosa, one losing season since 2010, finished 9-18 in 2016-17. But other than that, they've won 20-plus games in majority of the seasons they've played. They have been electric.
Yeah, they have, and it's just been a winning culture. They're doing such a good job coaching this team. These guys, it's almost a brotherhood for Metamora. They feed off each other. It's unselfish basketball, and it's almost just went kind of down the pipeline each year they just get better and better.
Indeed, and Jonathan, you look at Danny Greaves. According to the IHSA website, I'm going to trust them. Winningest coach in Metamora history, compiled over a couple hundred wins already, 257 and 94. I mean, that is an impressive record. He has been very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. And, Greaves obviously his first trip to state last year. And, obviously not only did Metamora learn a lot, but I'm sure Danny Greaves learned a lot at state as well. And, he's just done such a good job with this Metamora program. It's not easy to stay competitive year after year after year after year in the Mid-Illini Conference. Only a couple programs can do it. Metamora is certainly one of them. And Greaves has just been a blessing to the Redbirds ever since he came to Central Illinois from down in Mississippi a little over a decade ago.
Indeed, he's a Central Illinois native, coached at Woodruff and also Notre Dame, made his move to Mississippi and came back. Look at the regional titles there, but how about East Peoria? And it's been quite a while for the Raiders. They haven't been in many regional finals. Last time they were there was 2010, 13 years ago. I talked to the coach at the time today, Ron Kelch. Kelch has been part of every regional final trip since 1994, either as head or assistant coach. John, it's been a while for the Raiders, and obviously the odds are against them right now, but they could make history tonight if they can make a comeback.
Yeah, I think this is where you got to mount your comeback. It's going to be these next 8 minutes in the third quarter that are going to be crucial for East Peoria. It's going to take hard defense and scoring around the rim, but I do like in that first half East Peoria how they attack the basket. You just got to step it up on defense. Metamora, a team that doesn't miss often.
They don't. They're hitting so many shots. So look at a little history right there. Both teams have something to play for. Metamora wants to continue to extend their success. East Peoria looking to make history, and boy, it would be a historic comeback if they can pull it off. But Metamora with a 12-point lead, and we're underway. This Raiders start with the basketball.
And going back, how big of a win this would be for East Peoria. Their last regional title was all the way back in 1997. That was in Class 2A. Again, I wasn't alive yet, but I believe that's back when they used the two-class system. So it shows you how long it's been.
It has been, and it's been a while since a three for East Peoria, but Justin Page hits it. Mentioned in that 1997 team. John, you were around, probably not watching them, but Vershaw, Kuhn, Jay Bowman, I mean, a lot of players you could go through. That was an elite team.
Yeah, I mean, and those guys went on to play college basketball. Vershaw, Wisconsin. They had Jenkins over at Valpo. Corey Kuhn goes to Illinois Wesleyan, sets the all-time three-point record. So these guys, they were good. Kevin Metzger coached them up. They played Manuel's dynasty teams, Frank Williams, Sergio McLean. That was a fun group. These guys trying to make a name for themselves tonight.
Certainly are. Inbounders Mason. Kaiser wide open, didn't hit anything.
So East Peoria, they almost dared him to shoot.
Up and in, Reinders. It's a 5-point swing for the Raiders at a halftime. And now it's a 7-point ball game. Little energy to East Peoria, and that's what they needed to do.
Yeah, just like that, you hold Metamora scoreless in these opening minute and a half, and they get a couple baskets. That's what you need.
Tipped out of bounds by Page. Trying to set the tone. Metamora's had a couple open shots, just haven't converted. You can't let them have those. They're a very, very dangerous team when they can shoot open shots. Tucker thought about it. Drives in, spins around. That's off balance and a tough shot. Drew Tucker.
Yeah, as soon as East Peoria, puts that pressure on Metamora, not phased, they respond right back. This game, great start here in the second half.
Reinders cut off, nearly stolen, turns around, can't get it to go. Kaiser comes out with it, and that's really tough. John Kaiser is a big figure.
Certainly, and I think that was kind of a little bit almost of a nervous shot there from Reinders. Sort of, I don't want to say panicked a little bit, but kind of threw it up there. Maybe not the best shot there for EP.
And one, Tyler Mason got the dog in him.
And how about the effort from Mason? Soars in for the rebound, gives Reinders a little shimmy fake, and then goes to the basket. Chance to complete the three-point play.
And looks like on the scoreboard I just looked up, it looks like that's 3 fouls on Reinders now. So something to monitor potentially for East Peoria.
East Peoria got up to a fast start. Timeout Raiders. Page just hit a 3, but timeout was called well in advance. So we'll get a quick break. John Camosa, I mean, fast start for the Raiders, but Metamora just hit the afterburners.
Well, that's what makes Metamora so tough. That's why they're the #1 team in the state on a 26-game winning streak into the playoffs here. When teams have an answer, Metamora responds right back. They will not go away. They've been down in games, and they battle their way right back. So it's a tough team. It's really going to take heart and grit for East Peoria in the second half. Metamora, though, they've been here before, so they look confident.
They looked confident coming out of halftime, but the Raiders just kind of fell apart on the last couple of possessions. Tucker hit a tough shot. Mason soars in for the boards, and I think Tyler Mason probably, in my opinion, it's my opinion, of course, but I think he's the most underrated player on that Metamora team just because he does everything little.
I think so, and you can make a case that Mason's one of the more underrated players in the entire Central Illinois area, maybe even in the entire state in Class 3A. So I think a lot of people are going to be really noticing his name this coming summer, and I think some colleges may start looking his way. But, I mean, again, leading with 16 points right now, but he just plays Metamora basketball. He just does everything, just like you said, Gavin.
He's the difference. Page steps back. Tough shot. Going to say it was a two-pointer. Foot was on the line. Either way, it's a bucket for the Raiders. And
you can see Page wanted that basket.
He's a bucket getter. Just a guy that can just make buckets when you need them most. Redbirds slow it down. Not any urgency. Mason again off the side of the backboard. Tough angle shot. Here comes Mabels. Steps in. Kicks it back out to DuBois. Goes up. Mabels, corner three, short off the iron. Tipped out by Chown. Mabels looking for somewhere to go. Gives it off to Chown.
East Peoria staying patient, looking for that open shot. Metamora's really coming down on defense.
Up and in, Justin Page, tough take. Stins over Kaiser. 8-point ball game, a little over 4 to go in the third.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's just been so many players in this game that are just unguardable. I mean, almost every time that Page is shot, he's knocked it down, and Metamora's had a couple players like that. You know, Kaiser hasn't scored a ton, but he's been high percentage looks, and Mason, almost every shot's gone down too.
Open shot, Mason again. Fouled by Saul Chown, but he is getting rebound after rebound. I mean, he has got a future cleaning some windows.
Yeah, and John and Gavin, we've done enough Metamora games this season with Tyler Mason, and any team that they play, he soars in for so many rebounds on missed shots, able to create second chance effort. It's unbelievable.
That's uncoachable. You cannot coach that kind of awareness and urgency. And tipped. It's going to go to East Peoria. Nearly another offensive board, but Jonathan, you cannot coach a player like Tyler Mason.
No, definitely, and you know, obviously, some of it's just grit. It's just heart. It's that dog in you. And you mentioned, you know, he's got it earlier. Certainly agree with that. Again, everybody on Metamora they know this sort of spot where they're in. Anytime you make a deep run in the playoffs, you know, every game gives you just one more game of playoff experience.
East Peoria back on their heels a little bit. They'll reset with Page. Kaiser switches on to him. Over to Chown, low post. Up and in. Tough shot for Saul Chown.
It's a really great move from Chown, able to get through the defenders. Tough shot. East Peoria right back in this ball game.
6-point affair. It was 12 points at halftime. Timeout, Danny Greaves and Metamora. It's Tyson Swanson a little confused, but they're going to get him on the same page again. And we're going to take a quick break for our great sponsors of tonight's contest, starting with Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, Jake's your good neighbor. Find him in Washington or on the phone, 444, another 444 and a 1. JakeWestonInsurance.com is his website address. Also by Domino's. Serve up some Domino's at your next party for IHSA playoffs, or if you just need a meal, everybody wins at Domino's. Plenty to choose from in 20 area locations. Use code 1126 at checkout next time you're feeling hungry.
Yeah, I mean, bring up a good point there, have a little viewing party for IHSA playoff basketball. You could have one every night of the week.
Seems like it, and speaking of viewing parties, if you can't make out the Carver Arena on Sunday, how about you view the Bradley basketball game? This is an elite week of hoops in the River City. Got to finish off this one first here. Zobrist, back out. Kaiser, blocked. It was tipped. Swanson recovers. Page with the block. Swanson was wide open again right there. They get 2, but Page blocked the 3.
Yeah, that was a big effort for East Peoria getting the block, but Metamora gets it right back on the rebound, able to put it in. Those are little things you got to clean up, go after the basketball.
Here's Page, thinking about making a move. Steps back, three-pointer short off the iron. May have brought the house down on the East Peoria side.
I think the students might have came out of the bleachers there on that one.
Just short off the iron. 8-point ball game. Tucker, Zobrist, Swanson poked away. Tipped away by Dubois. Dubois says run the floor. Chown, up. Charge on Saul Chown.
Yeah, I just kind of saw him extend the elbow there. Try and just push Kaiser out of the way. I think that was the right call as Chown picks up his second for East Peoria, their team's third foul. But again, after that good play on defense and a nice little poke out, had an opportunity to get it back down to 6, but still within range. Again, the Raiders just keep themselves in the ball game. That's what they do.
Gotta make a move though. Swanson trying to extend, got it!
And Metamora, after that little run by East Peoria, they have the answer. If you're East Peoria, you need a basket here to try to cut this to 8. It's crucial. We talked about this third quarter being so important for the Raiders.
Had it down to 6 at one point, but back out to double digits. Mabels, floater off the back iron. Here come the Redbirds. Led by as much as 13. Swanson, up, blocked.
And it was Sol Chown again. Guess who?
And a really good chance here for Metamora now to extend this lead even more going into the fourth if they can convert.
Zobrist thought about a 3, drives in anyway, misses it. Who else? Mason got it. Mason is up to 18 points.
Again, the offensive rebounds that's killing East Peoria right now. We talked about it yesterday in the Peoria High Washington girls sectional title broadcast. It comes down to the little things at this point of the season.
Zobrist has it. 13-point lead, and Metamora can try to maybe even hold for the last shot as they've got a big lead. It was as little as 6 in the quarter, but up to 13, matching their largest.
I think if Metamora can get a shot here, they'd have so much more momentum going into the fourth, and that's what they're going to choose to do, hold for the last one.
East Peoria is going to let them have it. 10 seconds. Zobrist, corner, drives in. Tucker, 3, got it!
And that's how you put a dagger into the third quarter. A clinic put on by the Redbirds to close that one out.
Huge 3, Drew Tucker, all smiles on the Metamora bench. Gonna quick break for our great sponsors. We'll be right back on ClutchSportsHour.com.
The Jansen Law Center, representing Illinois injury victims for over 40 years.
Involved in an automobile crash? Take out your cell phone. Touch pound 4 law and you reach the Jansen Law Center. You have the power and experience of the Jansen Law Center. behind your claim.
Jay Jansen. One name says it all.
Find your next used car at every Uftring Auto Group dealer with a diverse selection for everyone. Many with low miles and remaining factory warranties. You'll feel good about your Uftring used car because if we wouldn't sell it to our family, we wouldn't sell it to you. UftringAutoGroup.com.
Welcome back to Washington High School and Torrey Gymnasium. Tonight's game also brought to you by Jake Weston State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, auto, home, or life, give Jake a call at the number on your screen or visit his website. Like a good neighbor, Jake from State Farm is there. Also by Domino's. Everybody wins when you choose Domino's. Plenty of great options, classic favorites, and new loaded tots. Over 20 area locations to choose from. Choose Domino's. Fourth quarter, and Metamora went on a 7-zip run to end things out. That's what's the difference right now. Rather, not even 7-zip, 10-zip run. They started with the ball. Zobrist going to take his time.
Just play patient in this quarter. Playing with the lead.
Hop, step, up and in! And nearly a 20-point advantage in a blink of an eye.
That's what good teams will do to you, Gavin. You know, they'll kind of hang around there with you for a little bit, but in a span of just a couple minutes, they can, take a 6-point lead and turn it into a nearly 20-point lead, just like Metamora did before that Page bucket.
Tucker drives down, tough shot. Kaiser almost got the board, tipped around, hit a couple feet. Of course, Metamora comes out with it. Up, another rebound. More second chance points. They're feasting on the glass.
And we talked about this in pregame where Metamora had the rebounding advantage in both of their previous meetings. They're owning the glass again tonight.
Really what's killing the Raiders. Chown goes up and in for two, but second chance points continue to hurt East Peoria and to the advantage of Metamora.
One thing I think that stood out to me again, I don't know how big of an effect it would have on the game, but Metamora hasn't committed a single foul in the second half. So if East Peoria can maybe drive in, get to the free throw line, can also slow the ball game down and maybe take Metamora out of their rhythm just by having that little stoppage in play and force them into a half-court set.
Chown gets the board, streaking up the floor, goes up.
And Chown and DuBois right there, just didn't see him.
Swanson up, tipped away by Mabels. DuBois goes up the floor, turns around. East Peoria is playing with real urgency. Page, deep three, in and out.
That's the shot that East Peoria was looking for. Back in the hands of Metamora.
Time is ticking. Metamora drawing close to a sectional.
And you almost make East Peoria play defense if you're Metamora. You can see, let them draw fouls. That's what the Redbirds want. They got that lead they're playing with. And you're right, Gavin, that urgency that East Peoria is playing with. They know it's crunch time. Got to mount a comeback quick.
Mason drives in, fouled. And he'll go to the line. He has had a terrific game.
18
points and go to 20. The junior, he's going to be back next year. First one's up and good.
I mean, a lot of it you could say, Tyler Mason's played outstanding, and he certainly has. But, again, it's the mark of teams that are going to be good in the playoffs is having guys up and down the roster that can contribute. And, you look at Tyson Swanson, he's certainly been the number 2 option for Metamora tonight. They got a couple guys that could be number 2 option any given night of the week.
Timeout East Peoria, other way, Page puts it in, but still a hefty deficit for the Raiders, and Metamora staying in front. John, it's obviously, again, an overwhelming lead right now in the regional title. Got down to 6 at one point. Raiders just couldn't quite make the second move. I mean, some thoughts.
Yeah, it's almost one of those games where you have to play near perfect you make your run, and then it really comes down to defense. You got to pressure the basketball, force turnovers. I know that's a tall task because there's other teams this season that have played Metamora that they've ran into the same brick wall. The Redbirds have just been a powerhouse. But right now, Tyler Mason with 20 points to lead the way. They've only held Ethan Kaiser to 5 points, but that unsung hero, Tyler Mason, and then 20 or 15 points from Tyson Swanson. They're just doing all the little things, but out of this timeout, you got to start scoring quick if you're East Peoria.
Take Tyler Mason away, and it's a different ball game, but that's why you got players like that up and down the roster. Deep team, and it's not even always about having a deep bench. At this point in the year, you kind of just, the guys that have been in the system, not always going to play some of the deeper bench guys. Got to go with your tried and trusted true studs, but a deep starting five on both sides, and Metamora with a big upper hand right now.
This is where you can just play slow, methodical basketball if you're Metamora.
East Peoria is just trying to get turnovers. Blocked
What a
away.
block.
Nobody's in the area for a board as everybody converged on the defender. So they're daring them to try to go up and shoot it, hoping for some misses.
It's a really tough spot for East Peoria because, you're down 16. Now 18 after that bucket from Mason, but
Tyler Mason continues to shine.
But, going back to East Peoria again, you're kind of too far away to play the foul game. I obviously can't just sit back and wait for a couple misses because there's no shot clock.
Page hits the three-pointer. No shot clock. Some may say that would do East Peoria a little bit better, but that's not how the game is played right now in the IHSA. Soon, though. There is a shot clock on these rims, just not operating.
Yeah, we saw that shot clock at the TOC earlier this year. But right now, they're playing like there is one. Fast basketball.
Foul. And that one's going to go on Reinders. That's his fourth. Reinders is a junior, one of the couple juniors that plays on the East Peoria squad. Got a few others, but don't see many minutes on a senior-heavy team of 5 seniors that play significant minutes. A 6th senior, Wendell, tore his ACL way back in football season. So he didn't get to play at all this year. First one's missed by Zobrist, or rather Tucker. Second one is up and good. 16-point advantage where it's kind of hovered for a while.
You gotta start draining threes if you're East Peoria. I think, I know a lot of announcers say, you don't need a 3 here. I mean, that 2 there from Justin Page helps. The biggest thing, though, priority 1, play defense. Number 2, you gotta make some threes. That's on the to-do list for the Raiders right now. Not out of it completely yet.
Trying to make a comeback and stolen away from behind. Chown got the steal, then got it stolen from him.
Kaiser almost wanted to pull that 3 there.
Danny Greaves probably wouldn't have liked that unless he made it. So smarter option.
He can make it from there.
He can, but situational basketball. Page can't pick it up off the steal. Here comes Kaiser, up. Blocked at the rim, but it's a foul.
Metamora, they're just getting inside, forcing East Peoria to foul, and just adding on to that lead. East Peoria doing a good job of trying to get back into this game, but Metamora just has an answer.
Kaiser shoots 2 at the line. Again, not a lot of fouls, 7 fouls to none in the fourth quarter.
Sort of unbelievable. I mean, Metamora, they've been able to play physical, and really, again, it's just where their size just kind of comes in. You can just play your game and not have to get too aggressive and foul terribly often. And East Peoria, they've been driving to the hoop a little bit. Maybe East Peoria or Metamora holding back and saying, hey, we're not going to give you the and one, because those are big momentum plays, and in front of big crowds like this, those are huge.
There's the first foul on Metamora in the half. So Page will go to the line.
Justin Page able to get to the line. This is big for East Peoria. These free throws coming up.
See John Gerzenich, head coach of East Peoria, talking to Jack DuBois right now. Again, DuBois hasn't been a massive factor in this game for EP. Again, Page has really just kind of been taking over. This has been his game, and he wants it to be his game, I'm sure. But, you know, if DuBois can potentially maybe knock down a big shot or two, who knows?
Page is just trying to make anything possible right now. What could be his last couple minutes as a Raider. But Metamora is going to play slow. Mason again, no good. He's been really good though tonight. Up, had it tipped away, and out of bounds.
Good effort there by Page to try and keep that one in bounds.
East Peoria was looking for a foul there. Loses the handle. Right back to Metamora.
Mabel's checking out for East Peoria, and Reinders comes back in. He's got 4 fouls, but they like his shooting stroke. That's what they need at this point.
Screen right there, and Tucker drives, so he'll go to the line.
And yeah, even if you're East Peoria, it's really tough, you know, in those, obviously, it's been a couple minutes since EP's called a timeout, but I'm sure, you know, as most teams do, they have a list of players that they want to foul if it becomes a late game situation. Sure, there's really nobody on Metamora that you want to foul because everybody can just shoot the ball so well.
Indeed, and miss it right there.
Announcers jinx, of course.
And indeed, but they're a very good team, as we know. Reinders lost it. Up, no good. So they're just going to get the board, and Metamora is just going to come out with it. DuBois tried to do something.
I got to say, I love East Peoria's hustle, though. That chase down, didn't get the block, but he felt his breathing down his back, and DuBois almost came in with a steal there. So EP putting it all on the line here in the final 2 minutes.
Really never giving up.
Yeah, playing that hard defense, not going away no matter the score. Going to play till the final buzzer.
They're just going to try to maybe play the foul game from now on. It's almost what you got to do is bank on some misses and then go down and try to shoot some threes. Timeout East Peoria.
And, you know what, something for Metamora, obviously they've, you know, looked like the better team here tonight. Obviously they got state championship there on their mind, but the win here tonight was sending them 2 sectionals. And the last 2 times that they've won regionals, they've won at sectionals back in 2018 and last year in 2022. But they got one thing on their mind. It's that first place trophy down in Champaign. Anything short of, they got to be very disappointed. But it's a team that can certainly do it. One of the most, if not the most talented in Central Illinois.
Indeed, and speaking of other regionals, how about that Richwoods Manual regional, John Camosa, as Richwoods is moving on. They were state ranked. They've been excellent this year, resurgent year for Will Smith's group. They're always solid, but definitely going above and beyond. I mean, they're going to be a tough team going forward as well.
Yeah, Richwoods, you know, having an incredible year, turned it around from last year where they lost in the regional semifinals. And now, beyond that point, regional champions going to sectional semifinals. This Richwoods Knights team, in order to knock out Manual in the playoff, that's a tough task. They did that tonight, and they are really sharp this year.
We also got to keep an eye on that Dunlap Rock Island score because we could have 2 Peoria teams playing each other in the sectional semis. If Dunlap takes down Rock Island, the Eagles could face the Knights. The winner of this game will play the winner of Sterling and Ottawa. Sterling is the favorite in that one. They're the 2 seed.
Sterling's very good. They've also got a cool gymnasium. Got a whole video board up in the middle, a mini jumbotron of sorts. The Golden Warriors, that's what they call themselves.
Sectional be in Galesburg.
Home of the Silver Streaks.
I think Metamora can feel it now.
Indeed they can. Just been a dominant performance. Tyler Mason has been incredible. Here he goes again. He loses it that time, but Mason has been outstanding. And speaking of that Rock Island Dunlap score, last score update we found is Rock Island 42, Dunlap 37. So the host Eagles are feeling it. Du Bois gets it for 2, but the Eagles hanging around.
Also saw another local area team, Illini Bluffs, playing the regional title game against Brown County. They're up 24-16 at halftime as well. So down in 1A, some good action too. Illini Bluffs, Peoria Christian, 2 good teams with state title aspirations as well. So Metamora might not be the only team around here that could win a state title.
There's a lot of teams from the area, both boys and girls, that could do it. Saw a slugfest last night between Peoria High girls and Washington girls that the Lions came away narrowly with. The Lions are a force to be reckoned with. Denali Craig Edwards, Aaliyah Guyton. A lot to like there on the girls' side of things. As Metamora is heading towards sectionals. No good from Chown.
I think that should just about do it, Gavin and John. Unbelievable effort there from Metamora.
You see the Metamora student section. I believe that we are in those bleachers. Got to be begging for mercy.
Oh man,
everybody is jumping. We had some young fans over here, maybe a couple first and second graders over here doing the same thing. They're jumping up and down and said, "I believe that we will win as well." So some future members of the Bird's Nest get hyped up for Metamora's big win.
As the deep benches will come in and both crowds give a nice standing ovation to their players. A slew of new players coming for both sides as Metamora is just going to wrap this one up with a bow. Tucker, the only remaining starter in the ball game. And he'll come out now after the free throw. So getting a little show for both teams. Andrew Kaufman, AJ Reinders, Jack Brooks, Jackson Aarons, and Caleb Greco for East Peoria. Over there for Metamora. Get some numbers. Caden Hartnett, the football star. Senior. Nick Walker. Avery Grebner, Ashton Greaves, Devin Dunn, all getting into the game. Tough shot. That's Briar Creemans. 10 seconds on the clock, and there's a foul. AJ Reinders.
What a bucket there from Reinders. Boy, you can.
Not giving up.
Maybe a little momentum into next season as he'll come back one of the few returners for East Peoria. But that's all going to do it as Metamora is going to continue their warpath to state. As they'll head to sectional level. And the clock will run out on a 60-44 victory in the regional championship.
What a game by both teams. Great job by Metamora the entire time. There were a couple times, it was 30-27, and East Peoria was right there with the Redbirds. They didn't blink at all. They've been there before, and they have that just maturity to just, not crumble when they're under pressure, because I'm sure they were feeling it for a little while. And credit East Peoria, put out all of their heart on the floor tonight. Just wasn't quite enough. That early hole they were never able to get out of.
Indeed, a tough break for the Raiders. Their season comes to an end after 18 victories and 13 losses. Metamora will host the regional title plaque here in just a moment. Get a nice big ovation from their full student section in the blackout theme.
Adding another trophy to the case there, quite a bit of them at Metamora High School.
Now watch Jared Hart there in the red polo for Metamora. He's kind of acting as the gatekeeper. You look at it. Boy, the bird's nest is hungry. Look at them. They're swaying back and forth like they're ready to run out onto the football field. There's about to be a stampede at half court.
There might be.
Yeah, wait for it. Wait for it. There we go.
Huge mob at center court for the Redbirds. Take it all in, Metamora. Another regional plaque to add to the trophy case. And they'll head to sectionals to play the winner of Ottawa and Sterling.
Yeah, one step closer to their ultimate goal, falling just short last year in the state championship. They're back to the sectionals, Gavin, and what a performance tonight.
We will take a quick break and we'll be back to wrap things up here on ClutchSportsAll.com. 60-44 winners. Welcome back to Washington. We'll get one final break for our great sponsors who help make this possible. Would not be possible. First, starting with Jake Weston, State Farm in Washington. For all your insurance needs, auto, home, or life, give Jake a call. The number on your screen or on JakeWestonInsurance.com. Like a good neighbor, Jake from State Farm is there. Also by Domino's. Maybe a little late for pizza tonight, but weekend's coming up, big basketball coming up for your next watch party or for dinner, lunch, whatever you may be having. Give Domino's a call or go pick it up, order it online. 1126 is a code you can use for a discount. Check out online or in store, 20 area locations. Everybody wins at Domino's. Three-man booth tonight was John Cabosa, Jonathan Michael. You look at Danny Greaves right there getting interviewed by Jim Matson, the longtime reporter. We also saw Kurt Pegler out here doing some interviews as well. Both are historic figures to the sports reporting community in Central Illinois. Kurt Pegler, working with him over at WMBD, CIProud.com. John Camosa, some closing thoughts for you as we head into some more great basketball next week.
Yeah, just another outstanding performance from Metamora, another regional title under their belt. And it really was a team effort, what they've done all season long, unselfish. Tyler Mason led the way. Great performance from the junior, Tyson Swanson. He wants to see his senior year keep going. He had double digits as well tonight, 15 points. And East Peoria, you got to give credit to them tonight. Hats off. That was a tough effort by them playing a top team in the state, number one ranked Metamora. They didn't shy down. Had some momentum shifts here and there, but ultimately Metamora just puts too much pressure on these teams. And East Peoria season comes to an end, but Gavin, 19 wins this year, incredible.
Jonathan, some closing thoughts from you.
Yeah, definitely. And, Metamora obviously played well the entire game. They were in control for, I think, the entire game. I don't think they ever were trailing in this one, but when East Peoria was kind of nipping at their heels, they came back with a big run of their own, whether it was, I think they had a 7-0 run, they had a big 10-0 run, I believe, either coming in or heading out of the halftime. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and watch the game. But, they just did everything that they needed to come away with the win tonight. They did the little things. The rebounding was huge for them, and not only was it because of their size, it was just the pure effort. They matched East Peoria's effort as well, and we saw a couple players diving on the floor. They both really wanted this game. Obviously, it's a case of who wants it more at this point of the season, and Metamora did, and again, just great performances all up and down the board. So Metamora looking at another deep run into the postseason. I would keep your eye on these Redbirds if I were you.
Hats off to Tyler Mason, Justin Page on two great individual performances. I'd say they're my respective player of the games, and I think I'll speak for you guys as well, saying that That's going to about wrap it up here from Washington. Closing thought from me, I got to say, some of you may know I'm from East Peoria, still live in East Peoria. It's been a pleasure to watch them this year and call it for you, but I'm excited to watch the Redbirds continue to go on. It's been awesome to see all these teams continue to play. We've got a lot of great basketball coming our way on ClutchSportsOut.com as Metamora moving their way towards another state championship possibly. You never know. We will have to see. For now, we're going to leave it here. 60-44 winner are the Redbirds. They'll move to the sectional semifinals next Wednesday. For John Camosa, Jonathan Michael, our great staff, Charlie Schermerhorn, Josh Messenger, Jacob, I didn't catch his last name, a student here at Washington, helping us out on camera. Jacob, you did a great job tonight. Larry Larson filing in late from the Peoria Regional. Paco Alonso getting a few late picks. Great staff with Clutch Sports Media. Thank you so much for tuning in for tonight's ball game. We'll be back for more basketball coverage next week on ClutchSportsIL.com.